Hey everyone! The anticipation for the upcoming Death Korps of Krieg army set gave me the motivation I needed to work on my contemporary Astra Militarum army. To be honest, it mostly consists of sprues and boxes at the moment, but this is about to change from now on. Since they are pretty badass motherfuckers, I think black camouflage is just perfect to represent the Death Korps of Krieg. When creating the pattern, it was important to me to ensure it wasn't too bright. Now let's get started. First, I painted all the base colored areas of the miniature that wouldn't be covered by the camouflage. Since I didn't want to undermine the functionality of the camouflage with too many bright colors, I chose only dark tones, dark grays and dark silvers, and one brass tone. For the mask, I opted for noticeably lighter grey tones, some of which had slight color tints. Once the other elements were painted with their base colors, it was time for the centerpiece, the black camouflage pattern. The patterns are essentially randomly arranged but still have characteristic shapes and placements that make them look like real camouflage. It's important to take your time here and make corrections as needed until you are satisfied. After finishing the pattern, the grim dark phase of the painting process began. I mixed a shade with a contrast paint to create a kind of thick, densely pigmented wash, then applied it generously across the entire miniature, using a large brush. While the paint was still wet, I cleaned the brush and used water to go over the areas of the miniature that needed to stand out. A bit like applying an oil wash and then going over the raised areas with white spirit to let the underlying paint show through. Finally, I let everything dry thoroughly. After the wash had dried, and this took quite a while, it was time to start working on the highlights. There were 4 elements to focus on. First, the metallic parts. These were giving a light silver highlight. Then the black sections like the weapon casings, boots and pouches were painted with slightly bluish grey tones. By the way, a more detailed tutorial with the exact colors I used for my Death Korps, along with additional useful tips as well as numerous other tutorials on various topics related to the miniatures hobby and the art of miniature painting, can be found on my Patreon page. Link in the description. The camouflage in grey areas received a more neutral, slightly lighter grey. If you'd like to grab a 20% discount on the golden maple brushes I used in this video among others, check out the link in my description and don't forget to enter the code Knightshade at checkout. And finally, the white mask. This was highlighted with very pale grey tones. I used 2 layers of highlights for each part of the miniature except for the metallic areas, which only received 1 highlight. Once the highlights were done, the only thing left were the eyes, the base and the decals. Since black camouflage is primarily used for tactical operations in harsh urban environments, special missions in industrial zones, nighttime scenarios or dimly lit spaces, I felt an urban base was the perfect choice for the latter. I painted some remnants of road markings and added dirt and rubble to the base. By the way, I've used this type of basing for a miniature from another one of my factions as well, but more on that in the future. Behold, the Death Korps of Krieg Sergeant Veteran in black camouflage is complete. Let me know what you think of this color scheme and feel free to share the color scheme you've chosen for your Death Korps army. As always, thank you for watching and I'd be thrilled if you left a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks and see you next time.